This episode is sponsored by Anchor. Sponsored by Anchor. Right now, it is a good time to use Anchor so you can create your own podcast. I use Anchor, and you guys do not know how much I love using Anchor.fm. You can edit your episodes in one place. It is completely free to edit your episodes on Anchor. There's no storage limit, no long-term contracts, and no limited features. You can monetize your podcast without an audience and listenership. Your podcast is also published on other listening platforms that include Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, etc. You will not regret using Anchor.fm. Is that this is personal for people. 3, 2, 1. What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Brewery Word podcast. If you are a new listener, I am your main solo speaker, Alex. You can call me Brewery. No one else is speaking with me. I am just here by myself. And I feel that this is common with a lot of people. There are people who work in the same exact building as either their friends or relatives, let alone their relationship partner. It could be someone that they are in love with. In case you are wondering if I would be comfortable working around family or friends, I'm going to express it to you guys. I hope that this episode makes you feel good. I don't know how many of you are working with people that you know of. I just don't want to go through this in the future. Maybe all of that stress is not worth it. Every time I think about this, I know how stressful this is. Some people may find it stressful, but other people may not see it as stressful. I'm not knocking anyone if they are comfortable with it. Some people can deal with it very well. Personally, I don't think that I can. I noticed the downsides behind it. I will say that you have been through this before. When you know about it, you are always going to be prepared for the worst in the future. Unfortunately, it sucks. I need to put in the disclaimer because I have to make this clear. I'm not a professional or anything like that. Plus, I'm not offering business advice. This episode is not for offering business advice. This episode is not intended to give you guys legal advice. I'm not a lawyer, especially in the fields of business. I'm not a family counselor. I'm not a marriage counselor, so I'm not married. I'm not licensed. I'm not a parent. I don't have kids. I'm not telling anyone how to be a parent, and I'm not your parent. I will be adding details about relationships, and I'm just discussing my opinion. That's all I have for the disclaimer. I believe that the reason people don't discuss it, people may have stories that they don't want to share because it may have been embarrassing. They have embarrassing moments. They just don't want to be humiliated. I get it if you have been embarrassed working around people where you have been around either your relatives, friends, or your significant other. That is completely understandable. You can't knock anyone for not talking about it because they're not comfortable about it. Since I mentioned that I have worked around people who are my relatives, not friends, this has been personal to me. It's a long story. I wish that I can go in depth about it, but I just don't feel comfortable discussing it right now. Not in this episode. That's all I have to say. Here is this question. Should I have a business relationship with my significant other, relatives, family members, or friends? I'm gonna say this, no. That's just my opinion. The reason why I don't feel comfortable is that it can be risky. It can be risky in many different ways. Not everyone is going to say the same thing when it comes to this question. If someone asks this, you can speak for yourself about it. I will say that it depends on the aspect of having a business partner as your relatives, family members, friends, and relationship partners, whether it's boyfriend, girlfriend, fiance, or spouse. If people are asked this question, it depends on how they feel. I have been told before, never mix business with personal. I believe that people should never mix business with personal only because people don't want to risk how long they have known this person. They don't want to mix their business life with their personal life. That's not something that I need in my life. If you're somebody that has trust issues, then it's not the right move for you. No matter whom you are working with, you know very well. It depends on your work experience. It depends on how many people you know or do not know you worked with in the past. People can work in any business field that they know of. It could be working at someone's place that they own or working in the same department. I want to mention that you can have the same career with someone you know of, but not work in the same building. When it comes to family members, relatives, friends, or your significant other, it's also common when you run a business together. You can do it if you have the right drive in you, make sure you have the right skills, make sure that the passion is still inside of you. You can own any type of business. I don't care what type of business it is. You can own any business. You can own a lash bar, a coffee bar, a bakery selling goods, a pizzeria, a sushi bar, a hibachi restaurant, a hair salon. Like, it doesn't matter what kind of business it is. If you have worked around people you know of, you will know what that's like. That's how I look at it. You don't want to lose what you had with someone depending on how long you've known that person. I want to talk about another reason why I would not want a business partner with either a family member, relative, friend, or significant other. People can have trust issues and not let their guard down. You you do not want to work with someone who is manipulative. It shouldn't matter if it was someone you know or not. This is why I'm comfortable working by myself because there's no drama. When I'm working by myself, no one is interfering with my work. I have a right to check myself. You don't have to be in a business contract with someone you can never get along with. Let's say you are in a contract by working with somebody. I believe that it can be annoying. It can haunt you. It seems that it could have been your business partner who is, frustrating you. I feel that there's a reason why people do not come out and speak about their personal experiences. People don't take it seriously when people are quiet. People don't publicly speak about having a horrible, shady business partner. I also wonder if there has been an NDA involved in some people's business life, let alone their work life. Are you being conned out of the same business assets? I hate to say it, it's the money involved. That's their livelihood. That depends on a career, and I hate to bring it up, but it may be possible. Who knows? I would be mad if I signed an NDA, and people are going to disagree with me when it comes to NDAs. I find it very risky. I find it very risky to sign an NDA because people are so quick to sign one. NDAs are something that should never be taken lightly. It's very clear some people take it lightly. If people ask me to sign the NDA, I will say, what do you want me to sign it for? What are you going to do to me? I don't know if it's bad to say that. I don't know if it's right to ask these questions. I believe that some people will risk to let their guard down. These NDAs will eventually go out the door. The best part is exposing this is laughable because they are the ones that are hurting you. Your current business partner is going to suffer legal consequences. If that person did something like this, then he or she should suffer the consequences. I hate to mention it, money fraud and stealing money from people. I don't trust a lot of people. Some people may think that they trust their relatives, their siblings, their parents, friends, or their significant other. It's not always the case. I heard that this is beneficial because it can help people get close. Maybe you want to spend time being around your relatives, your friends, or your significant other. maybe you want to find someone to talk to. Before I talk about my reasons why I would not consider friends, family members, relatives, and significant others as business partners, I want to discuss the advantages. I know that there are sides to it when you are partnered with someone you know. I'm not mitigating that there are benefits having a business partner that you know, that will know you very well and stick by you when it comes to overcoming. One advantage that I'm very familiar with is acknowledging the strengths and weaknesses. I think that's hard to open up about your weaknesses because you never know if people are very tolerant and patient of your weaknesses. I find it an advantage because there are people who want to understand your weaknesses. You have family members and relatives who know your weaknesses, so people may find it convenient to consider them as business partners. Some people choose to work with their friend or best friend as business partners because they know their weaknesses. They trust that they will not judge them for their weaknesses. It makes it a stable business partnership when people understand you. I think that's helpful when people want to help you overcome your weaknesses. If I work with someone who understands my weaknesses, then that's the support I need. I find it real to know your own strengths. I'm not saying discard your strengths away when we have to overcome our weaknesses. I find it completely crucial to acknowledge your own strengths and weaknesses because I don't think that you can always rely on your business partner to help you. All of a sudden, you're not helping yourself. If I had a business partner that I know, such as my friends, family member, relatives, or significant other, I expect them to help me thrive when I'm dealing with my own weaknesses. I need to know your weaknesses when I'm your business partner. I don't think that it's possible to deal with your weaknesses when you have a business partner. I think that if you have a business partner that understands the weaknesses, then it gives them the idea of knowing what to do while they work with you. The weakness part is an advantage because you may have known your business partner, they'll either be permanent in your life or they have been in your life for a long time. I know that it makes the business relationship stable because your business partner can deal with your weaknesses while you are working on overcoming it. When you are with your significant other, your partner has to accept that you have these weaknesses, let alone love you for recognizing your weaknesses. When it comes to friends, you expect that they know your weaknesses very well and accept that you have them. When it comes to family members and relatives, you expect that they will understand you, not judge you. The way I look at family is that they have to stick by you. I feel that friends are people, your weaknesses. Your friend is supposed to encourage you and give you the incentive to improve, not stop you from making progress. Sometimes it's not enough to recognize your own weaknesses because you have to work on mitigating your weaknesses. That's what I believe. I think that it takes time to know how to overcome them. People would not lose friends if two people are on the same page. Another advantage would be commitment. I will say that commitment is important because you have to be compatible with someone to be in a business partnership. I feel that the two people have to work together to be compatible partners. It has to be the same interest, the same industry, and the same career title. That's what people should consider. It can work when two people, your family members, relatives, friends, or significant other, are in a business relationship if you and the partner have the full drive to run the business. There needs to be motivation to drive the business to the next level. If you have the full drive to work on what you're doing, I can also say that the passion has to exist. If I wanted to work with my family members, relatives, friend, or significant other, I want to make sure that we have the same full drive together. I just believe that there shouldn't be one person with the full drive and the other person do not have the full drive. We are actually doing it together with the same interest and career title. I think that it's essential. People have to know how to be committed to drive the business to the next level. Some people have the full potential to have a business partnership because two people support each other enough to know how well they are committed and motivated. Support each other when they have the same skill sets. I feel that support is a big thing when people are in a business relationship. The way I look at family members and relatives is that they have to know that you are serious about running a business. You may think that They know about your passion very well because they are permanently part of your life and you are related to them. There may be times that you thought that you can trust them enough to discuss your dreams, especially if you are related to them and they will permanently be a part of your life. I don't think that it's enough when they know you are committed to putting in the work. I always believe that it can enhance the romantic relationship because both of you have the same goals, let's say the same career title, you may think that having the same goals will save your relationship. That's just how I look at it. Maybe having commitment helps them last long in a relationship. Therefore, it makes romantic relationships peaceful in the setting of your own home. I think that it's nice to hear that a lot of romantic relationships work well on a business level because they are genuinely committed to their work. When I think about friends, it seems that the friendship lasts long, which should not hurt the business partnership because you are consistent with being on the same page. You think that a friend would trust you. I don't know if it's rare to live with your friend when it's a business partnership, but communication is always required. No matter who your business partner is, it's an advantage if your business partner has the ability to meet deadlines. It's extremely important to meet deadlines. It's best to alert yourself to tasks in order to meet deadlines. I think when you are with your significant other, it's easier because you get to work on it while being close to each other in the same household. I think that it can also happen with family members, friends, and relatives sometimes. I believe that commitment entails some type of agenda that helps run a business. I also believe that it helps to accomplish a lot of goals. Therefore, people have to agree with things that can lead them to reach their goals. I don't think that there's anything wrong with disagreeing with each other. When people are in a business partnership with their significant other, commitment on both parties can enhance the relationship. There will not be any type of bad history with family members and relatives if people never disagreed with being committed to having a successful business so they can reach their goals. You want the environment to be healthy. People may also trust their business partners to get along with them. When you are around, here is the last advantage that I will mention. It would be that the environment is flexible. You may have a business partner who respects your schedule and you respect their schedule, whether it's your family member, friend, or significant other. Not only they respect your schedule, your family members, relatives, friends, or significant other knows you very well because they are the closest to you. They may feel treated better when they work around people they know because they are the closest to them. The thing is that it's always important to show up on time. You want your business partner to be on time and be professional. People may find it comfortable to work with someone that they know. When you are around your significant other, your friends or family members, you trust that they will respect you. You expect them to know when to show up on time. There are a lot of benefits when it comes to showing up on time. I find it a bonus when people show up to work early. I think that your family members will likely support you if they know your schedule very well. When it comes to a friendship, you expect that they respect your space. I feel that people have to be respected because everyone needs some time off of work. Someone you know should respect that you need a break. Everyone needs a break. I want to talk about the disadvantages. These disadvantages are the main reasons why I'm not comfortable with having a business partner that I know of. For some people, it can be suffocating. This can be a suffocating experience which I could never come back from. I would not feel comfortable working on personal issues. One reason why I would not have my family members, significant other, friends, or relatives as business partners is that it can cause conflict when there are issues involved. People will bring work issues to the home. Personal issues are brought in the workplace. I find it very common when people bring up personal issues that have nothing to do with work. In addition, personal issues are not something that it should be discussed during work. That upsets me because I would never do that to a person. When people do stuff like this, it leads me to choose not to work with anyone that I know in the future. If you want to discuss the issues with me, then don't discuss it at work because it could be a huge problem. I don't need to be the type of person to argue with another person. I'm not comfortable with talking about my issues while we are working. It's very clear that bringing up personal issues can result in arguments. A constant airing of the family's dirty laundry can turn off employees, especially buyers. It results in a negative company culture, higher turnover rates, and fewer sales. I find it completely embarrassing. It matters if what you're bringing up mixes business with personal. It could ruin a friendship because your friend is bringing up personal issues that are affecting the work culture. You're going to have a hard time being in the same room together. Whether you are the problem or the friend is, that needs to be resolved outside of a business. If there is a problem that needs to be resolved, then you need to fix it. Don't try to work on fixing it while you are at work because this can affect your work ethic. It's hard to focus on being at work. When it comes to significant others, I can understand that it's hard to work because your significant other is doing something that's hurting your own relationship. If you are the problem in a relationship, you just have to know that working on it at work is not the best idea and it's never the best time to do so. That have nothing to do with business during work. I know a lot of people who would be uncomfortable with that. I feel that those relationship issues make it difficult to separate business and personal. No matter what the relationship issues are, this needs to be sorted out if you are serious about making your money and making sure that your relationship is in a good place. You don't want a business partner that wants to work with you, but she does not know how to separate business and personal. That's the part that I find frustrating, and I don't find the business partnership healthy. I find it completely toxic because you never know when someone is going to stop thinking about personal things during work. Does it stop with these people? Like, when it comes to personal issues, the last thing you want to happen to you is being blamed for things that you never did outside of a business partnership. If it was your best friend when you are going through problems, don't let it affect your business relationship when you have not done anything wrong. If your best friend means a lot to you, just know that things progress when you know how to work on your friendship outside of work. I know that people don't want to lose their friend. I get it. They don't want to throw away their friendship and how long they have known that person. I'm not always going to tell you my personal life and what is going on with my family, significant other, and my friends. I'm not going to tell you when I want to and whenever you want me to. Family issues may make it difficult to have a stable business relationship. If people bring up things that should never be discussed because they can't let it go or any other reason, then they need to be prepared for the worst because there will be a fallout with a business relationship. If people are fine with the fallout, then I don't think that it's possible to work with someone you know. When someone does it to me, I feel disrespected, and you should never call me out like that, especially when we are around multiple people. I would not like to be in that position. I feel that some people have to be professional. If it's inevitable to work around your family members, significant other, or your friend because of a contract, then I think that you will find a way to mitigate the problem you are having with them. Another disadvantage would be favoritism. This may turn off employees. I believe the reason why favoritism occurs is that people are disregarding people's qualifications. They're not focusing on the values and how they can actually function in the workplace. People are not focusing on their work performance. No one wants an awful business partner that uses favoritism. It hurts your friendships, relationships, and family bonds, including relative bonds. If you are going to work with someone you know, people have a hard time balancing taking care of people they know of and the employees. When I think of favoritism, I think of regarding someone in a higher position without good reason, disregarding the values and work ethic, disregarding the values. In a workplace, I look at it as a way of someone being highly regarded that has nothing to do with their work performance. In general, when I hear stories about unqualified people not performing well, I quickly point out that this is favoritism. This is not functional for a business relationship and it puts people in an uncomfortable place. It's one thing if you were to build a bond in a working relationship. I feel that favoritism happens because people are more focused on developed friendships than working relationships. I heard of this before and it's nepotism. Nepotism is favoritism in a family when it comes to business relationships. If you don't know what nepotism is, employees are going to show resentment towards you and your business partner because they're not credited when credit should be due. People are going to stop sticking around and never come back again. There's a chance that people will portray you in a bad light. They will find someone to work with. People can handle so much. They know that you are biting the hand that feeds them. The friend you click with, they may not be a top performer, and then all of a sudden you are associated with it. You want to be aware of that. One of the people you're promoting is hurting the company. I dealt with that in the past. It sucks to go through it. People you are favoriting may not be performing well. You are hurting your own relationship. You may be sued for not paying workers well enough. They may feel discriminated against. Lawsuits are nothing to play with because people will sue you. People are not going to be paid well when they play the favoritism game. I feel that the people you favor are going to be blamed for favoritism. Their underperformance is hurting the company. When you don't check every single employee's performance, you are basically ignoring them and disregarding them. I find it possible for employees to figure out there is favoritism going on in the workplace. This can be common in family members because I know people who have been treated differently than their siblings. This can happen in relationships and friendships. They will choose people in their family who think are good and they don't think about their real qualities for the business. When it comes to friends, if you know the same people as well as the same friends, if favoritism occurs on a personal level, imagine that it affects the business relationship. Imagine if your partner is undermining your business relationship. I don't think that's possible for every single person to tolerate favoritism at work. That's something that I'm not going to tolerate. These employees are not going to respect you. Whether they quit their job or not, that will be your downfall for your business. No one is going to work with you. When it comes to a romantic relationship, I think that it causes a rift because the significant other is not being treated fairly when they're not being credited for their work when it's due. You can't ignore your significant other being your business partner when they are partners with you. That issue could also affect the home. If you are parents, then it can affect the kids because you are taking care of them. I would break up when my significant other uses favoritism and it hurts more than it benefits our relationship. Another disadvantage for having a business partnership with someone you know is dishonest feedback. The last thing you want to do is to lie to someone. It's understandable that a family member shouldn't want to hurt your feelings. That includes a friend, significant other, or your relatives. But in the entrepreneurial world, I know that a lot of, lack of negative feedback can mean a business built on low standards. I find it very factual that family members may go soft on their business partners because they care more than non family members about emotional stability. Instead of gently criticizing your ability to fulfill your current role, they promote you to a different one. I'm very familiar with that concept in real life. That could be the same thing for your friends and your significant other. They might also support ideas that they don't actually like to agree with, so they avoid upsetting someone. I know that it will lead to low quality products and services. Supporting ideas that is not significant to your business can hurt your sales. Your sales will drop like flies. It's inevitable that you are going to agree and disagree with your business partners. Again, this type of problem can upset non-family employees when they see a family worker being praised for a poor job, including friends, significant others, and relatives. I think that people are quick to be too lenient with people that they know. You can't be too lenient with someone because you have known this person for a long time. An employee in this scenario may become tempted to move on to another company where their ideas and their work will be treated fairly. An employee would be treated fairly when each worker receives fair criticism. If it's important to have employees working for you and your business partner, then you can't keep up with the favoritism game based on who you know well and who you don't know. No one is going to tolerate it. I've known that people need to learn how to give constructive criticism. I think that it shows how toxic this kind of business partnership is. This can lead to a lot of arguments. That person could have a hard time by giving you constructive criticism if you have a problem with it. If you are going to give employees constructive criticism, then give your business partner constructive criticism as well. That affects friendships when people are too lenient to give people insincere feedback. It can affect relationships where your significant other does not accept real feedback. If you are for being fair, I think it's best to know what to say, and I'm not for hurting anyone's feelings. There has to be times where I believe you have to know the good and the bad. If I were to give constructive criticism to my business partner, I would say, you are doing good, but you have to work on this one. This is where you are going wrong. I can also say, you have to worry about this. You are doing well with this. I see that your biggest strength is this and that. I can see you struggle with this and that. What if I help you with this and that? I like it when people say stuff to point out the weaknesses and struggles because it comes from a fair place, in my opinion. You are showing that you are about growth, not taking other people down. It shows that someone is creating room to improve and enhance their work ethic in a business partnership. I think that it becomes toxic because some people are not fairly critical when it comes to weaknesses. I don't find anything wrong with pointing out the weaknesses because it's something that we have to overcome. Everyone has weaknesses. If it's your family member, relative, friend, or significant other as your business partner who is not fairly critical, then they may not be the best business partner for you. I don't believe that there's such thing as being nice when you are in a business partnership. You don't have to be too harsh on your business partner because I believe that it could tick them off too. Being harsh can make the relationship hard enough to work in the same environment. You don't have to be hard enough by motivating someone to do better. I would be embarrassed if my significant other brought up relationship issues. I also feel that being too harsh can form some type of stale partnership. It may be hard to get along on a business level. You can't always give nice feedback because you know someone very well. People are not willing to admit the real deal. Sometimes you just have to stop worrying about how someone feels because they have to know their own performance. They have to know their own progress. I feel that sometimes we can't check ourselves when we are working with someone on a business level. You can't always be friendly with your best friend because I don't think that there's such thing as a friendship. Someone you know has to accept criticism. You don't have to be too nice to make someone feel good. I just feel that people should stop worrying about sounding good. It's common for couples to be in reality TV shows. It's very clear that it affects social media because people will always talk about the show. Social media can ruin a lot of relationships that are on reality television. I'm not saying that this affects everyone who is in a relationship. My point is that so many things can cause a barrier for you to maintain a healthy relationship. When you are on reality TV, I would rather not be in reality TV because people can be biased quickly. People will rip you apart when they see something that they don't like. I don't think that I can handle that much criticism when I'm on national television. The amount of judgment is so toxic and overwhelming. Some people will not change their opinions about people because they assume that specific couples are not functional. That's the part that's complicated because a lot of people watch reality television. You would not want to stop going through your phone, and people have negative things to say about you and your relationship. It could be about your family and your friendship. It's hard because some people don't want to change. It's hard because some people do not want to change their opinions. If I have a reality television personality, I would have no one to blame but myself because I know what I signed up for. My point is that couples break up for so many reasons when it's reality television. Depending on reality TV shows, I always see people breaking up whether someone is married or not. I've seen some couples get divorced. I've seen some parents co-parenting on reality television. I would not risk my relationship to be broken, especially if I have kids with someone. It's exhausting to go to the courts and be on a custodial agreement. I can't imagine how stressful it is because a lot of people go through this when they are parents. I see this as a recurring theme on lots of reality TV shows. It's not acceptable to be a side piece. I find it very disgusting and desperate. I mean, a lot of side pieces or side chicks can be desperate for so many different things. It sounds clear that these side pieces want to be in open relationships. Who taught you that it's acceptable? That's not the reputation that anyone wants to have. Unfortunately, some people have it. That type of history for being a side piece, it follow that type of history for being a side piece follows them for the rest of their lives. The problem that I have with it is that being a side piece can come off as desperate for so many reasons. It comes off as opportunistic to me. Babies are also used as a check or a way to make money on reality TV. You're embarrassing your own kids and your family. These grandparents might as well disown you for using them as a paycheck. You expect that your paycheck is $50,000 per episode? Like, how greedy can you be with your job? Unfortunately, someone's breakup is also used as a way to have a big fat check, and it also has been a recurring theme. People are always fighting, people are always cheating on each other, people are using their fidelity issues for a check, people are using child support checks for a storyline. Using your child for money is embarrassing. It's disgusting. I can tell if someone's child is embarrassed because their parents were famous. It's detrimental. Using the luxury lifestyle as a storyline for a check, fake marriage for a check. Where's your marriage license? By the way, I'm against the child support system for some reason. Till this day, I am. It's a long story. I hear numerous stories on how people abuse the system because it's not about the children anymore. It's inevitable that people will become greedy with money and use the money to benefit themselves. I would rather see that system abolished. Do these people have a job to support themselves? Something is generally broken about the system, and it's not just America, let alone the USA. Most reality TV shows are scripted. Whoever is on reality TV, they better stop pretending that it's not scripted because it is. I already came to that conclusion. I mean, there are people who actually want you to fail. That's why people are breaking you apart when you are on reality TV. Do they expect me to be the most hated person because I cheated on someone or I was not a friend the way I should have been a friend to someone? That's the drama that I don't want in my life. People have no one to blame but themselves because they signed up to be paid. These producers are not telling these people what to say. They don't have cars to say something. They are not auditioning for X Factor or American Idol. It has been reported that some of these people did get opportunities outside of these franchises. If you repeated these actions that hurt your significant other, then I hate to say this, but it's a part of your brand. Some people are known for cheating on reality television, and it's not a reputation anyone wants. A lot of it has something to do with fighting, for example, Basketball Wives, Real Housewives of Atlanta, New Jersey, and other variations of Real Housewives and Love and Hip Hop. What else? Sunset of Shahs? I'm not saying that all TV shows are bad. My point is that reality TV is still popular because there is nothing else to watch. I would rather watch Family Guy because it taught me more than reality television. I choose documentaries at all times. Other people, including side pieces, want a quick come up. You know, why won't these side pieces write a book about being a side piece and why it's bad? You can talk about how proud you were for being a side piece. I'm not condoning this because being a side piece is part of their brand. It's very clear to say that a lot of couples are on reality TV for a check. It's what pays their bills. When couples are on reality TV and they are not in a good place, it's hard to separate business and personal. Real people, they can be quick to be selfish. I want to go over good examples where people are willing to do anything to have a good relationship with their families or relatives or significant others on social media while making money on the internet. I don't have a problem with couples being YouTubers. People on YouTube are willing to do anything to make money. The passion is invisible on the inside. That's the saddest part, and that's where we are at. On the outside, people want to show that they are passionate. When it's a career, sometimes they lose track of being with, I'm not saying all of them, I'm saying a number of them can if the fame becomes big. I want to talk about how fame affects relationships in another episode. When it comes to YouTube couples, I did the last episode about the downfall of prank channels on social media. I talked about a couple family channels and couple channels. I want to go over why I am not for family channels on YouTube. That will also be in a completely different episode. I definitely want to discuss it in another episode because this is something that I want to address. I want to say that I don't mess with a lot of family channels because money is a part of it. There are a lot of family channels who don't have integrity. I don't support a lot of couples channels for some reason because it's very manipulative and very played out when they do it in a way for us to believe their relationship is real. Partnerships with your family are similar to working with your significant other. That's just how I look at it when it's on YouTube. For many couples channels on YouTube, it turned out to be fake. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Some of these channels went from being a couple channel to a family channel. I see a lot of family channels falling apart on a personal level because the parents treat their kids badly, they exploit their kids for monetary gain. There are a couple of channels who are specifically toxic because one of their partners gets exploited for money. The majority of these parent vloggers don't have any respect for the kids. One of their significant others don't respect their partners. Money gets in the way of having a good relationship with your kids. Money gets in the way of being in a healthy relationship because their significant others think about money more than love. Before I wrap this episode up, this is what I learned. I learned that people should not be too quick to mix business with personal. I just don't like that at all. This is why you should carefully choose whom to work with and whom to select as your business partner. You never know what someone could have done in their past. It would be unfair if their dark past came back and haunts you. That is not something that anyone wants to go through. I would be stressed out about it. I learned that people need to have similar expectations. Some people may think that they work better when it's not people they know of. I don't know if it's a work preference. Maybe it is. Some people feel comfortable enough to have a business partnership with those they know, including their significant other. I would not be offended if people I know do not want to work with me on a business level, including running a business. If I were to have a business partner, it would be someone that I don't know of. I would not work with someone that I know of. The majority of people I know of have completely different interests from me. They have different aspirations. They don't have the same career as I do. There are also downsides to having someone you know as a business partner. If I need a business partnership, I feel so much better working with somebody that I don't know at all. Not only do I work with people I do not know at all, I'm targeting to actually work with someone who has done the same thing that I'm doing very well. Their work record has to be clean. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to do research on anyone, and I hope that's not wrong to do it. We have to use our due diligence when we work with certain people. That's just what I believe in. I don't have a problem doing research on people, and I have a right to judge you. I have a right to judge other people. You are entitled to judge other people. You are entitled to look deep into people's track records. If I say that I'm not going to work with you, then I will not work with you. Just be prepared for the worst. The journey is not going to be perfect. I don't think that's ever going to be easy for anyone. I mean, I enjoy being solo a lot of the time. I hope that's not someone that was a convicted felon of a federal crime. That's very frightening if you think about it. I wonder how many people feel that way. Who would not want to work with a convicted felon that committed a federal crime? Again, people can lose their reputation for being so corrupt and that they may not be able to work with someone again. That may be hard to recover from. Who knows? I think that's impossible to recover from crimes that relate to money. It depends on who was involved with these crimes. As a best friend, I think that I would be a bad business partner. I know it sounds bad. At the same time, I think that it's insulting to say to some people, you are going to be mad at me for saying this. It's a fact. If someone were to ask me if I can be their business partner, I'm saying no. I'm not changing my mind. That's not me being negative. I know that sounds very abrasive to admit the word no, but it takes courage to say no. I just realized that I'm not very good at working with people sometimes. That's why I would not be a good business partner. All I can say is that there needs to be, a balance. If you are going to work with someone that you know, that's the primary example of why people should choose their business partner wisely. It should not matter who it is. I believe that it has consequences no matter who your business partner is. I feel that there are a lot of benefits when you are solo than you are in a partnership with someone. I would hate to go viral because my partnership ended badly. Imagine I was accusing my business partner doing something while my business partner accuses me of doing something illegal. I believe that some people have to know what they are getting themselves into because their debt is your own debt. I think I forgot about the debt part. Imagine someone was on Google reviews and someone accused me of things that are not true. I mean, negative feedback is hard to deal with. It's very discouraging to read reviews when I would not want to read reviews. It would be worse if it was public on social media. Yeah, I would delete the social media app on my phone and never look at the reviews again. You hear stories where the partnership has gone wrong. I realized that I learned more disadvantages than the advantages. I believe that it's tempting for people to choose relatives, significant others, friends, or their relatives as their business partners. Are people willing to choose people they don't know? It requires a lot of research, clean reputation, clean record, business grade, a good business grade, positive feedback, no conviction record of something that relates to money and some sort of illegal operation, I mean a trafficking situation. I completely believe that it's hard and complicated to work with someone when they have to live with a questionable past. I have to wrap this episode up. This was fun to talk about. This is all I have for this episode. I'm wrapping it up. Make sure to follow this podcast for a variety of episodes. I just want to know how you guys feel about having a business partner that is either your extended relatives, your family members, your significant other, or your friend. Do you think that you can handle it by having them as a business partner? Do you think that's a good idea or a bad idea? I'm just curious. I will be speaking in the next episode.